This case is truly one of a kind. A ruthless killer with no remorse stabbed his victim over 100 times and left her lifeless body in the woods. Afterward, he returned home and acted as if nothing had happened. But the question remains, why did he commit such a heinous act? And what role did his mother play in all of this? Welcome to Dark Files, the show where we dive deep into the most mysterious, horrifying, and mind-bending cases from around the world. Before we begin, we want to extend our deepest thoughts and prayers to the family affected by the monstrous actions of this 14-year-old boy. Welcome to Jacksonville, Florida, the largest city in the Sunshine State. Here, we meet 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey, a devoted friend, a talented athlete, and a passionate Starbucks fan. She attended Patriot Oaks Academy in St. John's, Florida, alongside other gifted students. As a cheerleader, Tristyn poured her heart into the sport, and her love for it was so deep that she planned to carry it with her throughout high school and even into college. But one fateful morning, everything took a chilling turn when Tristyn's parents woke up to find their little girl missing.
This is the photo the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office wants you to take a close look at. Tristyn Bailey is missing. Deputies say she was last seen during the overnight hours at the Amenities Center in the Durbin Crossing subdivision. But the search is now expanding to a nearby park, and that is where Brianna Ray Turner joins us live with the latest. Brianna?
Yeah, Jeff, I'm here at Veterans Park in St. Johns County. Now, I just want to go quickly over here because the search group, they're volunteering. These are community members from the Durbin community. Now, take a look if you could zoom in a little bit more, DJ. They're about to start their search right now. They're trying to find Tristyn Bailey, 13-year-old girl who was reported missing by her family this morning at 1 a.m. at the Durbin Amenity Center. Now, again, so many families out here. I talked with one family who says their kids went to school with Bailey, and they still can't believe something like this happened. They've been living here for about 12 years now, and they said never has a child been missing. The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office says Bailey was last wearing a white cheerleading skirt and a dark-colored shirt. So if you have any information about the current whereabouts or have seen Bailey, please.
On the morning of May 9th, Mother's Day, Tristyn Bailey's parents were already up, preparing breakfast, enjoying a peaceful start to the day. Everything seemed normal, and there was no reason to suspect that anything was wrong. But when Mrs. Bailey went to wake up her daughter around a.m., she was stunned to find that Tristyn was missing. Panic set in, and without hesitation, Mrs. Bailey reported her daughter's disappearance to the police. The community where they lived, Durbin Crossing, was a quiet and idyllic neighborhood with no history of crime. It was a place that seemed frozen in time, where children played outside and the sound of laughter echoed through the streets. Known for its low crime rate, this area had never seen something as horrific as a kidnapping or a murder. The residents were close-knit, almost like family, with everyone knowing each other by name. From what was visible, it was a community that appeared to be well off, with an air of respectability and tranquility. Once the news of Tristyn's disappearance spread, the whole community rallied together to help. Flyers were made, and everyone pitched in, showing an outpouring of support. Investigators later remarked on the incredible response from the neighborhood, impressed by how quickly and wholeheartedly the community came together to find the missing girl. Finally, a breakthrough came when security footage captured Tristyn Bailey walking down the street around 1:15 a.m. It appeared that she had snuck out of the house, as it was far too late for her parents to allow her outside. She was seen walking through the parking lot of an amenities center in the area, accompanied by 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. Other security cameras tracked their movements as they walked through the neighborhood and eventually into a wooded area. a classmate of Tristyn and Aiden, whose name has not been revealed due to their minor status, told investigators that the two had been at his house and left together around a.m. It seemed like they wanted to take a walk under the moonlight. The footage showed no immediate signs of anything unusual, but hours later, investigators saw Aiden emerging alone from the woods. There was no sign of Tristyn. Upon reviewing the footage, police immediately headed to Aiden's home and brought him in for questioning. When asked to show them the path he and Tristyn had taken, Aiden, sitting in the back of the police car, pulled out his phone. He began taking selfies and captioned the pictures. "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristyn lately?"
We're having fun in a f***ing cop car.
Yep. Tristyn.
What's up, guys?
Yep.
Tristyn, if you f***ing walk out the damn...
When you see this in a month.
Fucci's cousin, a minor herself, reported that he often visited her house multiple times a week. She told investigators that the last time she saw him in person was Thursday, May 1st, but added that they had spoken later after Fucci sent a selfie from the back of the patrol car. The photo quickly spread among their classmates. When detectives asked her if she had ever witnessed any strange behavior from Fucci, the young cousin recalled that he once told her he might end up in jail someday. However, his attitude seemed to shift after that conversation. During his time in the back of the police car, reports say that Fucci suddenly began crying and angrily punched the seat, exclaiming, "I'm going to get arrested for this." It appeared that Fucci was trying to maintain an innocent appearance, but the truth soon emerged. A search of his bedroom revealed even more chilling evidence. Among the items found were pieces of clothing stained with Tristyn's blood. But that wasn't all. Investigators also discovered disturbing satanic drawings on his walls, graphic depictions of girls with X's on their genitalia, their limbs severed. The images were truly grotesque. When asked about his whereabouts that night, Fucci gave a peculiar explanation. He told detectives that he had walked alone for a while, stating he didn't return home until between 3 and 3:30 a.m. because he needed to clear his head. After a 16-hour search, her body was found.
Tragedy tonight in St. Johns County as deputies say they found a body while searching for this girl, Tristyn Bailey, who was last seen alive nearly 24 hours ago. And with that, police say the search is now over. Brianna Ray Turner joins us live from the Durbin Crossing area near where that search was happening. Brianna?
Yes, Jeff, I'm at Veterans Park, and right now the scene is cleared all the way. But earlier today, I mean, so many neighbors came out and showed their support to the family. But this is also where the briefing was held. And, you know, when people heard the news, I mean, they were just in such disbelief. And now the St. Johns County Sheriff's Department is asking people to give the community time and space while they're grieving.
Neighbors, teammates, and the St. Johns County Sheriff's Department searching for 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey since this morning.
I love her so much, and it makes me really sad that the last time I saw her was at cheer.
One of her close friends who cheers with Bailey says she talked with Bailey just last night on Snapchat at around 10 p.m.
She's a really good athlete, and she's strong, and she's a great athlete, and I just am heartbroken.
The community came together in the afternoon ready to search for Bailey. The Sheriff's Department called off the volunteer search. Durbin Crossing North Amenity Center is where Bailey was reported last seen at midnight. The Amenity Center posted on Twitter that it would be closed until further notice.
This was an exhausting search by the neighborhood, by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. We have located a body that is preliminarily identified as Tristyn Bailey. This is a grieving community, and we're going to respect that grieving community. And I ask you that you put this out there and you help us stand behind this community and let them grieve together.
The St. Johns County Sheriff's Department also notified the county's school district, and they're going to be actually having grief counselors at Patriot Oaks Academy tomorrow. Now, that's where Bailey went to school at, but this is still under investigation, and the Sheriff's Department said that we should have more information by tomorrow. I'm live in St. Johns County. Brianna Ray Turner, First Coast News, on your side.
One morning, as a neighbor was out jogging, he decided to take a different route. As he ran through the area, he stumbled upon a chilling sight. the lifeless body of a young girl. It was lying in a bushy area near the cul-de-sac of Saddle Stone Drive, right next to the lake. Shocked and horrified, the jogger immediately called the police. Police arrived quickly, and upon investigation, they discovered that the girl had been stabbed multiple times. With heavy hearts, they took the body in and contacted the parents to confirm the identity. Sadly, the parents' worst fears were realized. It was indeed their daughter. Fortunately, the girl was fully clothed, so there was no indication of a sexual assault, but the question remained: how did the young girl's body end up in that secluded area, covered in stab wounds? Who could have done such a horrific act to a 13-year-old girl? The community quickly learned of the tragic events that had unfolded, and as expected, they rallied together to help. Residents began scouring personal security footage, eager to uncover any clues that might reveal the identity of the killer, working closely with the police. Since her body was discovered near the lake, authorities spent days combing through the water. While they didn't specify exactly what they were searching for, it was widely believed that they were trying to locate the murder weapon. As the primary suspect, Aiden Fucci was sent to juvenile detention in St. John. His first court appearance took place via Zoom, and footage of the hearing quickly spread online. The judge ruled that there was probable cause to keep Aiden in detention, stating that he would remain there until the end of May, when the case would officially move forward. Following Aiden's detainment, one of the investigators, who had worked in the area for over a decade, expressed a strong sense of confidence in the case. He assured the public that it would be prosecuted to the fullest extent. The investigators had no doubt in their minds that Aiden was the one responsible for the brutal stabbing of Tristyn, ending her young life. News of Tristyn's death soon transcended the boundaries of their tight-knit community and spread across the nation. People flooded social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter to express their shock, sorrow, and outrage. Many voiced their disgust towards Aiden, demanding justice for the life of the innocent 13-year-old girl. Of course, there were those who shockingly decided to defend Aiden, claiming that Tristyn deserved it and that the police should release him. How could anyone take the side of a murderer? It's unfathomable to most. Others took to social media with disturbing captions like, "This is what I gotta do to get famous," as if taking someone's life was a means to achieve national recognition. They bizarrely linked this tragic event to the idea of going viral. Meanwhile, rumors began to spread like wildfire, with some suggesting that Aiden wasn't alone in this horrific act, that his friends might have been involved, and even that Tristyn had been assaulted before her murder. The internet was rife with false information, and the authorities had to step in and release an official statement to clarify the facts and eliminate the fiction. As the investigation unfolded, Aiden, still a minor, was transferred from juvenile detention and arrested as an adult, pending his trial. When reporters asked whether Aiden would be sharing a detention space with adult inmates, an officer confirmed that he would not, at least for now. Despite being tried as an adult, he would remain separated from other prisoners. However, as the case progressed, this wouldn't be the case for long. Aiden was officially charged with first-degree murder, signaling that the trial would be taken with the utmost gravity. The consequences of his actions were becoming clearer, with many speculating that, if found guilty, he could face life in prison with no possibility of parole. Many believed that such a sentence would be inhumane, though, when considering the brutal actions he inflicted on a 13-year-old girl. Most found his crime unforgivable. But you may be wondering, what made them pursue such severe charges? The answer lies in the horrific details of the crime. Remember how we mentioned that Tristyn was stabbed multiple times? Well, it was revealed that the number of stab wounds was shockingly high. Tristyn Bailey was stabbed 114 times. The brutality of the attack revealed a chilling lack of mercy or remorse. Each of the 113 stab wounds was an opportunity for the killer to realize the horror of his actions and stop, but he showed no sign of hesitation. The excessive number of wounds clearly pointed to a premeditated desire to kill. When police divers searched the lake, they eventually found the murder weapon a typical folding button knife. It became evident that Aiden had used this knife to inflict the deadly wounds. The blade was partially missing, and part of it was discovered lodged in Tristyn's skull. Investigators believe that the only reason the stabbing stopped at 114 was because the knife broke, leaving Aiden unable to continue his attack. Had the blade remained intact, the damage could have been far worse. Of the 114 stab wounds, 49 were determined to be defensive wounds. These were inflicted on Tristyn's hands, arms, and legs, indicating that she fought desperately for her life until her final moments. She fought with everything she had, but in the end, the brutality of the attack left her with no chance. At this stage, the police had gathered an overwhelming amount of evidence against Aiden, and they were confident that he was responsible for the crime, even though he had yet to confess. Additional evidence came from statements given by his friends. Interviews revealed that Aiden had been expressing his desire to kill for some time. He had confided in his closest friends, and even his girlfriend, that he had an overwhelming urge to take someone's life, an innocent life, with no reason or remorse. Aiden allegedly told them that he planned to kill someone in 30 days, dragging his victim into the woods to stab them. Exactly 1 month later, he kept that promise, and Tristyn became his victim. His girlfriend's friend also spoke out, sharing that she had never liked Aiden, describing him as numb and emotionless. These traits, she noted, were eerily similar to those of a serial killer. According to the state attorney, there was no question in his mind that this was a case of first-degree premeditated murder. Aiden had made the decision to kill, and he had planned it for some time. However, he had no specific victim in mind. Tristyn was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Tristyn's family made multiple public statements, their hearts broken as they recounted the tragic loss of their daughter. They expressed a deep desire for other young girls to hear Tristyn's story, hoping it would serve as a cautionary tale that would help keep them safe. In addition, they aimed to raise awareness among parents, urging them to be vigilant about their children's behavior, especially if they were exhibiting strange or disturbing traits. While the family received an outpouring of support, including flowers sent to their home and Tristyn's grave, they were also faced with a disturbing backlash. Some individuals, particularly teenagers, responded to the situation with callousness, sending death threats to the grieving family. It seemed that these individuals either didn't grasp the seriousness of the tragedy or found twisted amusement in the situation. In response, the police made it clear that such threats would have serious legal consequences, taking action to protect the family from further distress. This tragic case highlighted not only the horror of the crime, but also the profound emotional toll it took on everyone involved, including the victim's family, the community, and even the people who had been close to Aiden. The investigation and its aftermath continued to raise difficult questions about the nature of violence, the signs of dangerous behavior, and the impact of a tragedy like this on a small community. Things took an unexpected turn when Aiden's mother was arrested during the investigation on a felony charge of tampering with evidence. Allegedly, after learning that her son had been arrested, she went into his room before the police had a chance to search and took the jeans he had worn on the night of the murder. She attempted to clean them by washing out the bloodstains in the sink. How did the police find out? Well, Aiden's mother had installed security cameras around the house, and when authorities seized the jeans, they also confiscated the footage. The video clearly showed the woman committing a felony, washing the blood-stained jeans. It came to light that someone had warned Aiden's mother not to interfere with the evidence, explaining that doing so would result in legal trouble. Despite the warning, she proceeded with washing the clothes, looking stressed and anxiously glancing out the window as she hurried through the process. The authorities noted that this had happened before the discovery of Tristyn's body, and at the time, there was no clear indication that anything was amiss. She could not have known that Tristyn was already dead, and yet she still seemed to act with a sense of urgency and worry. Aiden's mother didn't spend much time in jail. She was released shortly after her arrest, but the tampering with evidence charge added another layer of complexity to the already tragic case, leaving many to wonder about her involvement or possible knowledge of the events leading up to the murder. Later, details about one of Aiden's interviews at the sheriff's station were released to the public. Aiden was there with his parents, and after the questioning, the officer left the room, leaving the family alone. Unbeknownst to them, they were still being recorded. In the footage, Aiden's parents can be heard telling him to stick to his story. This raised suspicions that they may have known what happened all along, but chose to remain silent. While this remains speculation, it suggests that they may have been complicit in trying to protect their son. Aiden's story was that he and Tristyn had walked together towards the woods. He admitted that Tristyn didn't turn onto her street as they had originally planned. They continued walking toward North Durban Parkway and past Leith Hall Drive. According to Aiden, Tristyn then grabbed his penis, which made him angry, leading to an argument. He claimed that he pushed her hard to the ground, where she hit her head, and then left her there. During the interview, Aiden was also asked if he was wearing jeans that night. He answered affirmatively, but immediately his mother intervened, claiming that he was mistaken and that he had been wearing khakis. This seemed to be an attempt to protect him by providing a false detail that could have been crucial in the investigation. However, the truth came to light later. Tristyn's body was found lying on her right side. Her belongings, her cell phone, $20, and a cotton candy vape were found next to her, all covered in blood. In addition, 2 writings were discovered on her ankles. The word karma was written on the left, and a smiley face was drawn on the right with a pen. If Aiden had indeed left her there, wouldn't someone have taken her belongings afterward? This raised questions about the accuracy of his claims. Further complicating the case, Aiden's girlfriend revealed that he often carried knives with him and had nicknamed them Picker and Poker. When asked to describe one of the knives, she said it looked exactly like the one found in the lake. This statement only added to the mounting evidence against him. Eventually, Aiden was moved from juvenile detention and began sharing a cell with adult inmates. The prosecution announced that they had a surprise witness for the trial who was from within the county jail. Though the identity of this witness was not revealed, it was believed that Aiden may have confided in him or other inmates, possibly revealing more about the murder and his involvement. The prosecutors stated that they had 250 witnesses prepared to testify against Aiden Fucci. Whether innocent or guilty, it seemed that Aiden had made a significant impression on a large number of people. These witnesses would be called to stand in support of the Bailey family, helping to build the case against him. Before his routine pre-trial hearing, Aiden, the 14-year-old accused killer, appeared on a video feed from the Duval County Jail. He was dressed in an orange jumpsuit, his face reflecting confusion and fear. Handcuffed, he was led into a room with a phone, allowing him to hear the court proceedings. His demeanor was unsettling. He appeared frightened, looking around the room with a dazed, confused expression, as if he didn't fully understand where he was or what was happening. His behavior during this moment raised more questions about his state of mind as the trial loomed.
I've seen him. What's going on? What we got going on? Why am I here? I just want to talk to my mom and dad. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Checking with Mr. Kuchar.
They're both. A guard entered the room and removed the phone receiver from the wall, handing it to Aiden. As he took the phone, Aiden flipped his long hair back, still looking disoriented. He held the receiver to his ear, but continued to appear unsettled. It seemed that the time he spent in jail might have begun to affect him. He started rocking back and forth in his seat, his eyes darting around the room, and he muttered to himself. At one point, his voice became audible as he mentioned demons. Aiden said, "Demons will take my soul," expressing certainty that they would. But his outbursts didn't stop there. He then asked, "What's going on?" followed by a desperate plea, "Why am I here? I just want to talk to my mom and dad. What's going on? What's going on?" The video feed eventually cut off, and Aiden's attorney filed a request for a speedy trial waiver, a common request made by defendants. This led to the case being postponed to October 28th. A forensic psychologist not involved in the case reviewed the video of Aiden's behavior during the courtroom feed and stated that he would not be surprised if the teen underwent a mental competency evaluation. The psychologist commented that Aiden appeared disoriented and confused, and it was difficult to tell whether he was faking mental illness or if he was genuinely suffering from a mental disorder. Based on his observations and the patterns of behavior displayed, the doctor believed it seemed more likely that Aiden's confusion was genuine. Attorney Gene Nichols, also not involved in the case, pointed out that it wouldn't be unusual for a young defendant like Aiden to undergo a mental competency evaluation before the trial, though such evaluations can sometimes prolong the case. He noted that young individuals often undergo these evaluations, and in some instances, it could take months before a final verdict is reached, adding another layer of uncertainty to the ongoing legal process. At this point, the judge had not ordered Aiden Fucci to undergo a mental competency evaluation, and investigators had not disclosed whether he suffers from any mental disorders. A separate hearing was set for Fucci's mother, Crystal Smith, regarding the tampering with evidence charge. However, like Aiden's case, her hearing was postponed until October 28th. She remained under investigation for allegedly washing the blood-stained jeans that were crucial evidence in the case. On October 28th, there was another development. Aiden Fucci waived his appearance in court, meaning he chose not to attend the hearing. Despite this, the legal proceedings continued. The case had a brief appearance before Fucci's new pretrial date was set for February 2nd. As the case remains under investigation, there is a possibility that Aiden could face life in prison, especially considering the weight of the evidence against him. However, as with all legal cases, only time will tell how things will unfold. As the case progresses, the public continues to speculate on what kind of sentence Aiden Fucci might face. With the seriousness of the charges and the overwhelming evidence, many believe he will be sentenced to life in prison. However, given that he is still a young person, some may argue for different forms of justice or rehabilitation. The debate over what his sentence should be is ongoing, and many are left wondering what the ultimate outcome will be. What do you think? What kind of sentence do you believe Aiden Fucci should receive? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.